In today's video, I will do something completely different. A look at my life of music buying growing up. This is my story and where it began, as a young kid in the late 1960s, when the world was recovering from the madness of Beatlemania. The Monkees were beginning to be a popular group on TV and music, bringing their brand of fun, catchy tunes that made music feel even more alive. Then the 70s arrived, and it seemed that music wasn't just something you played or listened to, it was something you owned. I would save my money and head to one of the local record stores with some of my friends, flipping through the bins of vinyl records to find the latest 45 and albums. My collection grew a little with each visit, filled with the sounds of Chicago's horn sections, America's A Horse with No Name, and the infectious rhythms of the Jackson 5, the soothing voices of the Carpenters, the smooth soul of the Stylistics, Three Dog Night, the Eagles, and the electrifying energy of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Some of the local music I bought were from Olamana, Country Comfort, Cecilio and Capono, or C&K, and Kalapana, which became the soundtrack of my youth. When the late 70s hit, I had just graduated from high school, and it felt like a new era of music had arrived. The Saturday Night Fever phenomenon occurred. Disco fever took over, and suddenly the airwaves were dominated by the Bee Gees, falsetto harmonies, Donna Summer's sultry voice, and the high-energy beats of KC and the Sunshine Band, Chic, and others. The dance floors were packed with people grooving to ABBA, The Village People, and more. I was now in transition and had stopped buying vinyl records for a couple of years and started to buy cassettes instead. Although cassettes were invented in the early 60s, they didn't start to get popular and a preferred way to buy music until the 70s and 80s. They were smaller, portable, and perfect for blasting in car stereos like I did. I embraced the format, enjoying the freedom to create his mixtapes from records bought and borrowed. By the early 1980s, my life took a different turn. I got married, kids, and responsibilities left little time for music the way I once enjoyed it. Gone were the days of browsing record stores for hours. Instead, music became something I caught in passing, mostly through listening to the car radio during my commute to and from work. But even then, unbeknownst to me, the music buying world was changing. MTV arrived, transforming music from something that you listened to into something that you watched. Michael Jackson's Thriller album set a new standard, then his sister Janet Jackson soon followed suit with music and elaborate dance-driven videos. Phil Collins, Whitney Houston, Stevie Wonder, and Journey were just some of the bands that dominated the charts, while the Bangles, Cyndi Lauper, and Madonna brought fresh energy to pop music. Fleetwood Mac's timeless melodies continued to resonate. Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses are two of many that delivered a raw, rebellious edge. The visuals added a whole new layer to music, but for me it was mostly for the younger generation who were more in tune with it than it was for me. And again, another change was occurring. In the mid to late 80s, the CDs started to get popular. I bought a few, but somehow, the shift from cassettes to CDs felt like a blur. I barely had time to notice when record stores started stocking more discs than tapes. And then one day, it seemed like everything had started to change again. In the late 90s to early 2000s, digital downloads, MP3 players, and music buying were evolving faster than I could keep up. A friend had gifted me an MP3 player once, but I never even took it out of the box. Work was busy, life was busy, and before I knew it, music had become something that existed in the background rather than a central part of my life. It wasn't until retirement that I finally had the time to reflect. For the first time in years, I could sit down and truly listen, really listen to the songs that had shaped my life. But something was missing. The record stores and bookstores that sold music were gone. It seemed people didn't buy music anymore. Or did they? Music as I knew it was being streamed now. Songs weren't collected. They were simply accessed with a voice command and a fee. I thought back to my youth, how I once bought vinyl 45 for just $1, carefully choosing each record, not knowing it would become part of my life's soundtrack. I can still hear the gentle opening notes of the Carpenters, Yesterday Once More, and I remember how it made me feel. I can still picture myself cruising with friends whom I went to the disco with, blasting YMCA by the Village People, or dancing under flashing lights to Donna Summer's Bad Girls in a packed disco club. And then, sometime when I think of the past, as if on cue, an old song would play. Sometimes from the radio or my collection, it would have me remember times I had growing up. As a teenager, a young man, a father, every version of myself was wrapped up in the notes of listening to a song. Music buying had changed, but the music memories had not. It's the moment a familiar tune played, time folded in on itself, and for a few minutes I was no longer an observer of the past. I was living in it all over again. Because music isn't just something that you listen to, it's something that is felt through memories, and that some songs will never become old. And yes, I do have a smartphone, other tech gadgets, and hopefully soon we'll be downloading some of my favorite music from my past. Well, I hope you enjoyed my memory lane of music buying. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.